What happens next is not my fault.
Oh my God.
We have a brand new game.
I was trying to contain myself. Oh my.
Go option one, not safe. These are insane.
And Brandon keep killing it.
What's good, creative fam? Brandon Washington here. I am back. Like, this is real. I'm live. I'm back in the studio. I'm back in here with my good homie, Jarrelle.
This is real, people. Like, Brandon's not just, this isn't a pre-recorded video. We are live.
We are live right now. Dude, first off, thank you for holding down the fort. I knew I kind of threw that at you.
It's good to have you back.
No, I gotta say a massive thank you to everyone who helped make the last couple episodes possible. Just to give you guys some context. So first we were at Cinegear,
yes,
I believe, and then the next 2 weeks, my son was actually playing in the in a Little League World Series. We came up a game short, but we had a really great time. But for me, as you guys know, family comes first. And so as much as I love this show, and trust me, it was hurting me not to be here. Family comes first. So I had to go, we were in South Carolina playing some baseball. And honestly, I kind of liked it. It was like a little mini vacation. I don't take vacations hardly ever. So it was kind of like a little mini vacation. It was good.
Yeah, I know that it had to hurt because you had some significant milestones.
Yes, dude.
While you were gone.
Okay, so obviously we're going to get into it here pretty quickly. But yo, Nikon, terrible time to drop, man. I couldn't be on the show the week after everything happened. So I was really, really like itching to be on last week. But, big shout out to Marcus, big shout out to Brittany, big shout out to Justin Porter for helping hold the show down with you while I was out. So thank you guys so much. Seriously.
Yeah, that, and you crossed 150,000 subscribers.
Yes. That also, that's so weird to think about. I think only in YouTube can you not be there for a massive milestone like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think I posted, but, thank God for, you guys and running the show. But yes, we crossed 150 on this channel, and we actually have a second channel. It's the Uncensored by Brandon Washington channel. It's where we post a lot of our clips. We post some of the games, some snippets, and we're working on some bonus content over on that second channel. That channel also surpassed 1,000 subscribers.
Yes, and in like 2 months. So thank you to you guys.
So you guys who've been rocking with us here on the live streams, but also checking out the second channel, thank you guys so much for everything. But I'm excited to be back. I have so much to say. I've got so much to say. But before we do, in order to make this show happen, we do work with some amazing sponsors. And so this episode is sponsored today. And so I want to quickly thank today's video sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. It is a website that helps you build a website. They make it incredibly easy by giving you pre-made templates that make the entire design process super simple. This means if you want to launch a website pretty quickly, Squarespace is the way to do it. On top of making the design part incredibly easy, they also have added in Squarespace AI, which will actually help you through the entire process, including SEO, to make sure that it's easy for your potential viewers to find your website. One of my favorite built-in features is actually the email marketing campaign. This means you can do everything you need from directly inside of Squarespace, and when you're ready to check out, they have an incredibly flexible payment process. Now, I actually built my entire website using Squarespace, and I am not a coder, never have learned coding, and so that's one of the best parts, is that if you are someone who wants to get your business up off the ground, start your new endeavor, sell products, whatever it might be, and you need a website in order to do that, honestly, the easiest way to do it for me has been with Squarespace, which is why I've had my website with them for years. And if you're still not sure about giving Squarespace a shot, you can definitely sign up for a free trial and build your website now. And when you're ready to launch, you can save 10% by using my link down below in the description. That's squarespace.com/Brandon Washington. And thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. All right, y'all, I am pumped to be back. Let's hop in the comments because obviously y'all know what the topic is. Y'all know we're gonna be getting into it today because I feel like the camera battles have absolutely just taken off in the last few days. Jarrelle, let's find some good comments because I want to see. First of all, shout out to everybody who's in there because I see Marcus, you're in there. Mr. Camera Junkie is in there. Haw Vision, I've seen you before in here. So good to see some returning faces. Rumen, I see you in there as well. What is up? I just want to say hi to everybody. Y'all have no idea. I feel like I'm coming home. I feel like this is homecoming for me right now. Because it's like I get a chance to hang out with all my friends in the chat. So I just want to hang out with everybody for a minute. We're gonna get into the Nikon stuff, trust me. But
3 weeks is a long time.
3 weeks is a long time, bro.
All right, but here we go. First comment.
All right.
We all know the answer to this question. For the money, the Z6 III and no other camera compares. That's a hot take.
That's a hot take. Is it though? Is it though? Look, oh man, we're gonna. I don't know when I want to just jump into it because this is like the first time with a camera in a while where we had some knowledge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as you guys may be aware, maybe you're not aware. So if you actually go to Nikon's actual YouTube page, my production company, B-Wash Media, with the assistance of Jarrelle and Travis, our editor, and a few other people like Marcus, who's in the comments right now. He actually, so if y'all want to get mad at somebody, y'all can get mad at him because he knew too. But we've
been so quiet for the last...
Dude, it sucked.
2 months.
It was so tough. Especially because we signed on to do the project with them a long time ago.
Yeah.
Was it pre-Red? I think it was pre-Red.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so pre-Red acquisition.
Or maybe right after, but...
No, it was before.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember when the acquisition happened, I was like, oh, can I use Red?
Yeah.
And they're like,
yeah.
Gotta stay separate. So I mean, we signed on to do this project a long time ago. And so to be on this show and excited about cameras and to hear you gushing about Canon for the last, I don't know how many weeks. And I'm just sitting over here on my hands I just want to talk about the Nikon. I just want to talk about these Nikon because it's going to change stuff. And I'm not even don't get me wrong. I'm excited because as someone who does shoot with Nikon, this is a huge step for Nikon. But bro, I think this camera is going to make Sony have to, we always look at, Canon's going to push Sony. I think Nikon's about to have to push Sony. I really do. So I think that when you talk about camera companies fighting it out, bro, it's about to get fun.
Well, it's
about to get fun.
It looks like Ruben feels the same. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the Nikon.
It's, the Nikon's looking good right now.
But hold on.
What? Okay.
Or vote for Pentax.
Well, Ruben, okay, you just lost. I was with you for a second, and then you went Pentax. So I don't know how good of a co-signer we can go with you on this.
Yeah, you're a red Nikon shooter. He's a Pentax Nikon shooter.
That's funny.
Oh, hybrid shooter, Nikon all day. Man.
This gotta be somebody else has gotta get nah.
What does the poll say?
Okay, let's run to the poll. Let's see what we got. Let's see how I can pull this up. I don't normally run the poll, but I'm gonna do it. Hold on. All right, so the poll is currently all right.
Did we just invite all the Nikon people in?
I think we might have.
Wow.
All right. So currently in last place with 14% is the GH7.
Okay, good. I mean, not good.
But yeah, it's okay. And currently in third place. You ready for this?
This is trash. I already feel the
In
vibes.
third place.
Y'all
it's
better not.
actually with 16%. Whoa, y'all are voting so fast. It just changed. Okay, now tied for last place is the Sony A7 IV. So the Lumix just got a vote because they just bumped up. So sitting in second place with 21% is your Canon R6 II.
The most underrated camera that's dropped
What?
in the last couple of years.
What?
No, not in the sense that like the R6 is y'all expect this from me.
Guys.
Y'all expect this from me.
No,
but the R6 is a banger.
Look,
I'm not saying
for
it
the
deserves
last
first place.
Look, I'm just gonna be real with you. For the last 3 weeks, you let Marcus let you gush all over Canon and not hold you accountable.
He didn't.
Brittany didn't hold you accountable. Porter didn't hold you accountable.
She don't shoot no Canon. She don't shoot no Canon.
Get out of here.
I'm just saying, is there not a case to be made? Side point.
Okay.
That the R6 is an incredible camera that doesn't get the press that its quality might deserve. And that's what I mean by underrated.
Maybe. Okay.
I'm not saying it's better than the Z6. It's not.
I got you. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, I will say that not enough people show the R6 Mark II love, but it is a phenomenal camera. Surprisingly, most people don't know
so
this.
I'll take second place.
40 to 60% of the behind the scenes content that you see on my channel is shot on an R6 II.
Bro.
I'm just saying.
Canon.
Nikon.
True,
red.
Yeah, for sure. But this man shoots on some Canon.
I shoot on whatever is the best for the job, which is real talk. And a lot of times, at jump camera
Canon
brands,
is the best. For the
Canon does a lot of good stuff. I'm not hating on them. I'm just saying you take it a little too far.
Yes, Charles.
But yes, in first place.
This is
Z6 III.
This is Brandon's clone.
Yeah, dude. If I could clone myself, I would have been here all 3 weeks. like that would have been a no-brainer. That would have been an absolute no-brainer.
Coming in fifth place.
Coming in, the Lumix S2A. Okay, now, did we make it clear in the poll that it has to be sub 2,500? Yeah, no, it is. Is the S2H under $2,500?
Flip, Michael,
I don't know.
Chevrolet. What is it? I don't know.
I'm
not in the Lumix space enough.
Not enough. All right, what else we got?
Alrighty, and then we see love from the other Brandon.
From one Brandon to another. Dude,
Yes.
I saw you in the chat all 3 weeks while I was gone, so I appreciate you rocking with the show even when I wasn't here. But welcome back, Brandon. I appreciate you. What else we got? Who else is...
Mr. Camera Junkie says the Z6 III looks like the best features right now, but not enough for me to switch systems. Sony one and only.
Well... I got a video that's coming out real soon that might change your mind. I'm just saying.
So before you left, we had an opportunity to talk a few conspiracy theories. So I'm going to limit myself to 45 seconds.
Of conspiracy theories?
No, not a conspiracy theory.
Okay.
But this is a high level. This is never going to happen.
Okay.
But I'm going to put Nikon to a little game.
Okay, let's do it. I want to hear what you got. I have no idea what he's going to say.
Nikon.
So sorry, guys.
Marketing team.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Marketing team. You guys should make an incredible splash in the industry.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Set aside $5 million and do a buyback program and buy back other brand stuff. Because the hardest part to switch is the glass.
So, you know who actually did something like this?
Who's that?
That caught me was Rhino. You know the Rhino sliders? They're like super overpriced.
Yes.
Right?
Super expensive.
But they're very expensive. And I don't use it. And I don't want to say it's overpriced for the product, but I pay too much because I just don't use it. Right. I don't use it enough for what I paid for it. But what makes me feel good is they actually had that type of a program, a buyback program, where you could sell them any slider. And they had like a couple different brands. And like I think the one that I ended up shipping in was a Kessler slider. But which
is also expensive.
Which is also pretty expensive. But it was just like it was the old school. You had to crank it. It wasn't motorized, whatever. And so they were like, send us whatever slider you have. We're going to give you I think it was a $700 or a $500 credit for that slider. And then you can use that on the website to go towards one of ours. And dude, that's the reason why I upgraded to the Rhino slider. Because I was like, oh, good. I get a chance to get off of this thing I don't need. I don't want to really try to put it up online and try to sell it and ship it and all that stuff. And I can just give it to you. I don't know what they did with all these sliders that they picked up. But, you know, they might have a warehouse with just like, you know, a box full of old sliders that was
Hopefully they put it on eBay.
Maybe.
So, Mr. Camera Junkie, question to you and maybe even to the audience. If Nikon was willing to buy...
Hold on. Let's not limit it to Nikon.
Oh, yeah.
Let's open it up to all brands.
Yeah. If somebody was... Well, the only reason I was going to say Nikon is because he thinks that the Z6 III is incredible.
Okay.
If they were willing to buy your glass and you weren't going to lose money in the transaction, would you switch? Would you switch?
Yeah.
So, Brandon, I kick it to you.
Oh, man.
If you could sell your Sony glass, your RF glass, if you could sell, what would you do? Is there a brand that you would switch to?
You know what? Right now, today, the number one thing I'm looking for is to change all of my lenses, all of my cinema lenses, let me be specific, over to PL. I think that was the worst decision I have made, which, don't get me wrong, the lenses that I have are great. But
what mount do you have them in?
I have a lot of RF mounted lenses, like cinema lenses. And I have some EF mounted cinema lenses, which, again, those mounts are not bad by any means.
Just not versatile.
Yes, like I'm finding myself more and more in situations where I'm jumping from Nikon Z mounts to RF mounts on the Reds to like Alexas that have PL mounts on them. And so it's like, I just wish I would have ahead of time. And like, I was just thinking about my system, what I was using. If I were to be able to get all of my cinema lenses in PL mounts, that would have just made this part of my career a little bit easier. But to not skirt away from your actual question.
That was very political.
To not skirt away from your actual question. You know, right now, I have a video. I mean, my last video I posted, I talked about this, and I'm working on a video right now. The Z mount, to me right now, is the most interesting mount because it can adapt Sony lenses to it. It can adapt EF lenses, PL lenses. It can adapt even L mount lenses onto it. The only one that it can't currently do that I've not been able to find is a RF adapter to the Z mount.
Yeah.
Dude, if somebody out there could come out with a way to put a RF mount onto a Z mount lens, that would be the one lens mount to rule them all.
Yeah.
Like, and I think especially with how great some of their cameras are right now.
And it's because their flange distance
It's a flange distance thing.
It's super
so theirs is the closest.
shallow.
Yeah, theirs is the closest, which means everybody else is a little bit further out, which means with that space, you can actually put an adapter in there.
So technically, even like RF, like if somebody made it.
Yeah, I think technically the space is there, and I think you could probably do it for cinema lenses, like probably right now, but it's also having enough room for the pins. So that way you could actually get that autofocus to talk to back and forth. So I don't know. If some crazy engineer is out there, you're working on this, and you want me to test it, I would be more than happy to run those tests for you because I think that would just blow up the Z mount.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
To answer that question for me, I'm going to need to wait after July. If I'd be willing. If somebody was willing to do a MSRP buyback, if they were willing, I would be willing after I see what Canon has to drop.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. MSRP, I might just do it just so I can get back all my money and then pick some different lenses. Because, like, I know I've bought lenses where I'm like,
that
this is the lens.
Use.
And I'm like, I don't really need this lens
for
anymore.
sure.
Dude, they could buy back that EF50 1.2 at MSRP. Bro, give me that
Seriously,
money.
give me that $1,500.
Give me that money back, bro.
Oh, goodness. Well, we have an incredible show planned for you guys.
Yeah, we should start
And
jumping
so let's
into it.
jump into it since we've already got our feet wet.
Yes.
So, Brandon, What were your impressions about the Z6 Mark III from a video side?
Oh man, I know this was a big one. So, okay, I got a couple caveats I have to throw out there. Full transparency. So, as you guys know, this is uncensored, so we don't hold anything back. So, the truth is that the Z6 III that you guys are buying or using, I have not actually used that camera. I want to be very clear about that because what we used was a pre-production model. Now, we were a part of, this is something that I just recently learned when it comes to the entire process of like releasing a camera, is that there's kind of like 3 phases in sort of a speak, right? So you have like the marketing phase where you start creating all the content for, you know, the ads, and like if you go on Nikon's website right now, you'll see me on there, which is kind of cool. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty neat. That a brand would trust me to help them do this. But we were working with a camera that was pretty dang near close to finished, but we could definitely tell that there was still some software things they were still working out, and there was things that they were doing. So it's hard for me to like give my full opinion on this camera because the model we had was so pre-production. And then you get like, I believe like a second phase, which I've been a part of the second phase before, which is when they give it to like reviewers. This is when like Jarrelle and I gets it, you know, Jared Poland's, they get it. I've gotten it with Sony before.
So like more of the kinks are ironed out?
I would imagine that they're not putting a camera that still needs some work in the hands of reviewers because they know, you know, they're going to be honest and say what they really think about the camera. And if you can't be like, oh, we're still working on that. It's like, well, then I have to review what's in front of me. You know what I mean? And so like, that's where like the second phase is. And then you then have the final phase, which is the production models that normally come out a few months after the actual camera has been announced. And that's where like everything 100% has fully been ironed out because now people are getting a product that they paid for. And the last thing they want you to do is get a product that you paid for, not like it, and return it. That would kill them. You know what I mean? So to be fair, from what I experienced, and this is where all of my opinions are going to come from. So I'm going to have a lot of opinions throughout this show, so I just want to be very clear up front. All of my opinions are coming from what I experienced with the pre-production model, and then what has been confirmed to me through looking at other people's reviews who got review models. And so I'm putting those two things together to formulate all of my opinions about this camera. So I just want to be very clear about that as we move forward and we talk about the Z6 III, because again, I had a pre-production model that was for marketing purposes. Other reviewers got probably more ironed out versions of the camera. And so that's where my opinions are coming from. So,
because when we got it,
go ahead.
Were there only like 4 or 6 of them in the world? Something in that?
I don't know, and I don't want to say the exact number.
Yeah, for sure.
I know that we were already limited, you know. But the nice thing is that we did get a lot of experience with it. So, you know, Travis and Marcus were shooting behind-the-scenes video. You were doing behind-the-scenes photos. So all of those amazing photos you guys see, Mr. Jarrelle did those. So even the thumbnail that came out, that was really good. And like your work is published on Nikon's website.
Published.
You're a published photographer.
Published.
You're a Nikon published photographer.
I'm a Nikon shooter.
You are, technically. Let's get that badge put underneath your name.
Hey, I'll take it.
But, you know, my experience with the camera was, first off, holy crap. Like, the 6K sensor and the fact that it is a partially dual stack sensor and the high frame rates and like the 4K 120, HD, what is it, 240? Like, these features in a camera under $2,500 for me was mind-boggling. Now, the other thing...
Super aggressive.
Now, that's the other thing. I didn't know the price. I actually didn't know the price of this camera until pretty much everybody else started seeing leaks. And even then, they didn't tell me what the price was. I was just guessing off the leaks. And then when it officially came out, I was like, wow, that is an aggressive price point for this type of camera. And that, to me, is what makes this camera really, really special. I think a lot of times we look at cameras and we look at, you know, the specs and obviously you look at the image. But I do think that price really does make a big difference for a lot of people.
Where do you feel like it lands? Like, its specs, like, where do you feel like, because obviously right now they're putting in at $2,500 and it'll probably stay at $2,500.
Yeah.
But like, what would you expect to pay, or what are other cameras that are in its league?
So that's the hard part. There's not really any other mirrorless camera that like sits in its league. Like even if you take like the Sony FX3 or the A7S III for that matter, that is a $3,800 camera somewhere in there, and that's 4K 120, which you know this camera also has. But it's not like it's not 6K. It's not 1080 240. Like it doesn't have line in, which is actually something that's really interesting about this camera. Like there are audio features built into this camera, ready to rock and roll with this camera, like for video specifically. So like there's not really another camera quite like it at its price point where you can really like compare it. But ironically, there are cameras that are more expensive than this one that don't quite have some of the specs that this one has. And so, like, for me, that's why it's like, yo, this camera is punching hard. And regardless to, you know, the features that it has, the price of where it currently sits, I don't really know if there is another camera out right now that gets there.
You have such a short memory, Brandon.
What am I forgetting?
This is the brand that you forget about all the time. Now, to be fair,
oh God, I did it
different
again.
sensor sizes, but the GH7
You're
is
right.
probably
You're right.
a close cousin, a third cousin,
Okay, so
a second cousin.
Is that 6K?
5.7
5.7K, open gate. Now, to be fair,
ProRes RAW,
if there
32-bit float.
Okay, but the 32-bit float, you have to buy the attachment in order to get 32-bit float.
True.
So I think you could do that with like a task cam or anything else. So that's a different adapter. I don't really count that camera as having 32-bit float technically,
Shots
but I guess
fired.
it kind of does. If there was somebody today though that I would have faith in that would make a $2,500 camera to compete with this, it would be Lumix. And here's the reason why. Canon's not doing it. Canon's not doing it. They're very happy with their R6 II, and they were like, we can't compete at this price point.
You don't think the 3? You don't think the 3 steps up when the 3 comes out?
I don't think we're going to see a 3 for a while, first off. Second off, Canon showed their cards when they were like, we have nothing to compete at $2,500. So
Hold
they
on.
just cut the price
Hold on.
of the R6 II down
Hold
to $2,000.
Don't be speaking
I'm
poor.
just saying.
Don't be speaking poor.
I'm just saying. They showed their card. They made it very clear. They cut the price of the R6 II down to $2,000 because they have nothing to compete at $2,500. Oh my gosh.
So this is coming from our editor Travis. Can't even take this as a deal.
Okay.
The R3 does 4K 120.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Wait, the R3.
The R3,
Okay.
same sensor in the R3, in the R6 Mark II,
Okay.
the same Digic X processor.
Mm-hmm.
Canon firmware upgrade.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying they could do it. Do you see
We're
a
talking
path?
about cameras that are out right now.
No, so I'm
We're
talking about
not
the R6. No, I'm saying the R6 Mark II. They could do a 4K 120. Actually, I'll ask. Do you think it's possible as a firmware upgrade if you have the same processor in it?
Mm-hmm.
The R3 already does 4K 120.
Right.
Could they do a firmware update to the R6 Mark II?
No,
Why?
because of the camera body. The R3.
The heat?
The R3 has a greater heat sink on it.
Bro,
And
give
it
me 2
has-
minutes.
And it has different batteries on it, and so its whole battery chassis is totally different. I don't think that they're going to be able to do a
Give
software.
me 30 seconds.
Oh, God,
Do
put your
you
hat back
need
on.
more than 60 seconds of 4K 120?
Did you see what happened with the R5? They're not going to take a chance on doing a software update on the R6
Take the
II,
chance.
and it's going to just overheat.
Take the chance.
get
I
outta
don't even want it like that, but I'm just saying, and even that doesn't get us well, to be fair, if we're just throwing, no. if we're just throwing external on, the R6 Mark II's got 6K ProRes RAW.
I'm going to reel this conversation back to where it was because we were
Yes.
talking about Nikon, we were talking about Panasonic, and somehow you make everything about Canon.
No. I'm just saying, external 6K ProRes RAW, R6 Mark II
I don't want external. External means nothing to me.
can do it.
So here's my thought. if somebody were going to release a camera right now to compete with the Z6 III, I think the best camera brand opportunist out there right now is probably gonna be Lumix, and only because we've already seen what they can do at the lower price point with the actual Micro Four Thirds sensor. And I think if we get the Lumix S5, we get an S5 III that is 6K, and it has Ari's color log or whatever profile in it. And then it has the open gate, and it has everything that they put inside the GH7, but they put that into this one. Yeah, I've got a pretty good feeling that they got a good shot. I think Lumix has a good shot. Now, I don't know what Sony's working on. I don't know if they have something at the 25. I mean, the A7 IV feels like it's been out for a really long time. So if Sony were going to upgrade the A7 IV and put a 6K sensor in it, that would be amazing. But at the exact same time, I think they would piss off a lot of FX3 and A7S III shooters because that camera would clearly be better than that going forward. And it would be at most likely a cheaper price. So,
but that's kind of what Sony does. They don't really worry about cannibalizing.
That is kind of what they do.
They don't.
True.
They don't really care.
That is their MO. I don't know. Y'all let me know. What do y'all think? Do y'all think I'm off? Do y'all think I'm off? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section if you think I'm just like way off on this. But I really do think that right now the Z6 III has like
I can agree. Internal, all the stuff that it does, it really, in considering the full frame aspect of it, there isn't anything in it that's close to it.
I mean, it has its own RAW.
Or
it
tell
has
us.
ProRes RAW.
Or
it
tell
has
us.
ProRes. It
Chat, tell
has
us.
it has H.265. Like it has all the video codecs that you could possibly want or need, and it does it all in 6K at up to 60 frames per second. Like the only thing you could possibly ask for is maybe OpenGate if you're Cam Mackie and you want to use some anamorphic lenses. But like outside of that, I don't really know for $2,500 how much more you can really ask for.
They are standing on top of the mountain, but I do not think. I think they're pushing everybody else, which is incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know that they'll stay on top of the mountain.
I think there'll be better cameras. But at $2,500 this year?
Oh, no.
This year for $2,500?
Because
we know where
it's a
Canon's
2 to 3
going.
year cycle?
Yeah, we know where Canon's going. They're going R5 Mark II right now. They got R1s coming out. I don't see a sub $2,500 camera from Canon that's going to compete with this. I don't see Sony, maybe Sony with an A7 IV, maybe. I feel like they need to upgrade
I
the
always
A7S
assumed that those
III.
were more expensive cameras.
They're like $2,500, but they're not. But they're not that more expensive. But they were on an A7. They have an A7 IV, but they're still on an A7S III.
Yes.
And an FX III. So I feel like we need a S line camera from them right now.
Yes.
Because the S line is lagging
That's
behind.
what people are waiting on.
Sony, I feel like they're focused. Maybe I don't know anything, but they're probably focused on an A7S camera, right?
Yeah.
So if they're focusing on the S camera, Canon's obviously focusing on the high-end camera. I think Nikon just won 2024 for the sub $2,500 because they might just be the only ones really fighting there, except maybe Lumix. Yeah. Which Lumix could still drop a A7S, what is it, A7 V? I can't remember what their freaking terms are.
It is.
Lumix
it is
S5
hard.
III. Kofi, let me know if you're getting another trip. I see you in the chat. Let me know if you're going to Japan again. That'll let me know what's happening.
You're wild.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying you got to tell me what the camera
Blink
is.
twice.
Just send me your itinerary. Let me know if you're if you got another trip coming up. That's the only camera from Lumix right now I really, really want to see. That's the one that I want them to release right now.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. All right.
But yeah,
so,
that's just my thoughts. I don't know. Who am I?
All righty. Well, to be fair, because on the thumbnail,
yes,
we have the Sony A7 IV, we have the R6 Mark II.
Yep.
We did not put the GH7 on the thumbnail, but even some love and respect towards them.
Yes.
To me, honestly, the Sony, it's older. And I feel like it dealt with the whole jello rolling shutter, super slow readout. So to me right now, I'm not counting Sony out because I feel like they could drop something.
Oh, they have to, dude. They've been so quiet all year.
They have to. So, to me, 100% Sony's out of the running. The GH7, for me personally, not in consideration, but I do love all of its capabilities. It was awesome to talk to Brittany a couple weeks ago, to hear her sort of deals, and then even to watch their content coming out about the short film that they were filming. The GH7, the image looks good.
Okay, so I think this will be fun. You ready
Yeah.
for this? This will probably make you mad.
What's
Here
that?
we go. I want you right now on live, because you always put me on the spot. I want you on the spot.
Uncensored.
Here we go. 5 cameras. I'm going to give them to you.
Okay.
And you need to rank them.
Without knowing, no.
No, I'm not
Can
gonna
I
do
know
that to
what's
you.
next?
Yeah, I'm giving you all 5. I'm going to give you all 5. I want you to rank these 5 cameras from least.
Will you tell me them all?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you all 5.
Okay, perfect.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Here's the first one.
Hey, chat. Do it too.
Yeah, chat, let us know.
Let us know.
Kofi says, I'm not saying nothing. All right, here are the 5 cameras. Chat, you tell me, rank these, all 5 of them.
Okay.
The first one, Blackmagic Pixis.
Okay.
All right, wait, is that the other $2,500?
No.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Dang it, I thought that was under $25.
I think it's like 3.
All right, rank these 4 cameras.
We can throw it in there. I don't got no problem.
All
throwing it in
right,
there.
5 cameras. Here we go, because these are 5 cameras I think are...
3,000.
Okay, here we go. You ready?
Okay.
Pixis,
Yep.
GH7,
Okay.
Sony A7 IV, Canon R6,
Mm-hmm.
Nikon Z6 III.
That's
Rank
easy.
Okay. Who's
Sony.
number 5?
5.
Sony's 5. Out the gate.
Oh, no. No, I'll take that back. Oh, this hurts my soul. This hurts my soul.
Let's go.
GH7 5.
Wow.
Now, here's the problem. It only has to do with your Micro Four Thirds. And something that was really cool
Okay.
for the first time ever,
Yeah.
we had somebody live react to our video.
Oh, let's get to that later.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
get to
for
that
sure.
later. Let's get to that later.
And they talked about the Micro Four Thirds thing, but for me, no Micro Four Thirds.
Okay.
So 5. But everything else about the J7, incredible.
Okay.
4, Sony.
Okay.
Easy.
Okay.
Like it's too old.
Okay.
Too jello.
Yep.
Pixis coming in at 3.
Okay.
To all the Blackmagic people out there, I'm not a Blackmagic user. Appreciate it. Love the box style camera. Saw it at NAB. It's a rehouse 6K.
That's not a lie.
So is that
6K full frame though.
It's okay, yeah.
So
Now, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about like what do you want to buy? No, I'm asking. Are we talking about what we're gonna buy?
Rank the cameras, bro. Rank.
Oh,
the
so
cameras.
rank of like what's better?
Just rank them, bro. Whatever
Oh,
you think.
yeah, for sure. Canon R6 and then the Nikon Z6.
I just wanted to hear you put a
No.
Nikon over a Canon.
Yeah.
Y'all heard it here first on Uncensored. Jarrelle chooses Nikon.
Is a Nikon
over
shooter.
Canon.
No, but if I'm gonna be like honest, like I'm gonna be like this is like no unfair. Well, I mean, I don't know if there's always gonna be subjectivity. If I had the Nikon Z6, am I gonna shoot it in 6K? No, I'm not going to.
Why?
I literally because like, and as a working professional,
Oh gosh.
I have already filled 8 terabytes this year, 9 terabytes this year.
Yeah, but that's working professional. Just charge more for your hard drive.
I don't know that the client needs above 4K. I don't know that I want the extra expensive 6K.
Okay.
I don't know that I'm shooting in 6K. Like I need the 6K. I don't have a ton of jobs that call for RAW. I don't shoot RAW in Canon RAW. Like
Yeah.
I don't think that I would start shooting Nikon RAW.
No, I do. I'll use ProRes RAW
Yeah.
before I use like Nikon RAW. Personally.
So, then, the reality is, and this is not I think that it's a great feature to have
Oh my gosh,
internal,
come on.
internal 6K.
Come on.
But I've got 6K ProRes RAW in the R6 externally. And you have to use a monitor anyways because those little flip screens, they ain't it. I'm already shooting with the monitor. So would I like it internal? Yes. But I don't think that the R6, like if I had to literally choose right now, I have RF glass. I have EF glass.
I didn't ask
On a
that. I just asked,
practical
what did you-
standpoint,
all right, you
the
know
better
what? Pull up
camera's the
Ruben-
Z6.
Pull up Ruben's comment right there.
The better camera's the Z6.
No, what he does.
But what I'm buying today is the R6 Mark II.
Let's go to Ruben right here.
Let me see. Ooh, where you at? Where you at? Where you at?
He's right there. Not that
Is
one.
the G's in?
Up one.
The Gen
Up
Z?
one. Gen Z. What? No, that.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
that
yeah.
one.
Oh,
Down
no.
one.
You're moving on me. You're moving on me. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
All right.
my
We're good.
gosh. All right, here we go. So I think Ruben is probably the closest to me. Sony at 5, GH7 4, Canon at 3, Pixis 2, Nikon 1. The only thing I think I'm going to switch there is I think I'm going to put the GH7 in third, and I'm going to drop the Canon down. I know.
That's fine. That's fine.
I know.
I know where your money is.
I know. Look, as far as cameras go, I'm not saying that the R6 II is a bad camera by any means.
Oh, yeah.
I think what it did was great, but I think that the GH7 right now, okay, you know what? Let's talk about the Micro Four Thirds thing.
They can go back. They can go back through all these live streams and know how you really feel.
No.
The
I don't
GH7.
look. I don't like the Micro Four Thirds on the GH7,
Yes.
but I think if I actually adapt that camera, like the thing I think
the
about
speed
the
booster.
GH7 is after watching. Okay, so let's set context for this next segment. Okay.
Now we have context.
Yeah, let's get some context. Well, no, for what you were talking about. What you talk about the guy who live streams. So first of all, we do this show every single week live. Right now, there's over 200 of you guys rocking with us live.
What?
Right?
No.
Like there's 224 people rocking with us right now, and to each and every one of you, you're
My
dope,
Canon people.
awesome. Get out of here. You're dope, awesome people, and we appreciate every single one of you. But there's a reason why we do this show live, and that is because we know that we are just two people with opinions, and there are hundreds of other people who have different opinions than us, and we want to hear them. And that's the reason why we do this live versus like recording a podcast and just uploading it, right?
And we also don't believe that our opinions are better than any other body's opinions.
No.
It's just our own personal experiences.
Even though he tries to make you think that Canon is the best.
No, I said Z6.
I just
Z6.
messed. But even though like he tries to make you think Canon's the best, we are open to understanding that sometimes like I think I've been on record saying it multiple times on this show that like I love what Nikon's doing, but gosh, their lenses are huge. Do something. And they have. The 35-1.4 just came out, and that lens looks much better. It's much smaller. So, like, they're working it, right? But we do this show live specifically because we want you guys to be able to give us your input. What is that face? You're on camera. They can see.
Kofi needs to see my eyes.
What did Kofi say?
Canon 5?
Oh, yeah. We're done with that. I'm moving on. So, here's my thought. We do this show live because we want you guys to give us your input. Well, the other day, we stumbled across a video where somebody actually watched us talk about the GH7, and he totally was disagreeing with our topics.
Yes.
It's like a 30-minute video.
Yes.
Where he's like live reacting to our stuff. And I absolutely loved that video.
Love it.
Because here's the thing. One, he's totally entitled to his opinion. Two, I do hate on Micro Four Thirds. A lot. And it's not because I don't understand how good some Micro Four Thirds lenses can be or how good Micro Four Thirds cameras can be. And yes, I did shoot a lot on the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K, which is a teeny tiny Micro Four Thirds sensor. But you
So
will
noisy.
never.
So noisy.
You will never. Well, there maybe when I first got it. Actually, Sticks had a Micro Four Thirds lens that we like played around with on that camera. But aside from that, you would have almost never seen me using that camera with a Micro Four Thirds lens. Not because I don't think that Micro Four Thirds lenses can be good.
Yeah.
I just don't personally think they're good investments because they limit you to just Micro Four Thirds cameras.
The smallest sensor.
And that is my problem with Micro Four Thirds. So I want to be very clear. I don't think that Micro Four Thirds is bad. I don't think that the sensor is necessarily, it's not the best sensor, but it's not a terrible sensor, and the lenses aren't terrible. But I just can't invest in those type of lenses because, as I mentioned before, I already regret buying some RF cinema lenses, where I would have much rather have just went ahead and bought PL, because then I could have adapted it to everything else. As a filmmaker, as a content creator, whatever.
You're coming from a business mindset too.
I'm coming from, I need more versatility
For sure.
because my tools are constantly changing.
If you're a Micro Four Thirds user for life,
Then you're fine.
You're fine.
And honestly, if you just buy a Micro Four Thirds camera and you know you're only going to use that one camera, and you're going to get a Micro Four Thirds lens to go ahead with it, and you say I'm going for a small package, then yeah, man, do you. I am not saying don't buy Micro Four Thirds. I'm saying personally, just because of where I'm at in my career currently, like Jarrelle just mentioned it. We've got Reds in this room. We've got Canons in this room. We've got Nikons in this room. I'm shooting next week with an Alexa. Like, I'm jumping systems so often at this point that when I buy lenses, which to me are like paintbrushes, I want those lenses to be able to be as versatile, and me be able to be like, oh, I really want to use my Irix lenses, but we're shooting on Alexa and mine are RF mounted, so I can't do that. You know what I mean? I don't want to have that limitation.
yeah.
So, that all to say, if you disagree with what we have to say, put it in the comments. I want to read it. After every show, we read all the comments. We read everything. Everything. We won't respond to everything because sometimes y'all just be mad. But we read everything and we love it and we're here for it. So,
And you know what we'd appreciate just a little bit more than just the comments?
what's that?
Live react to us.
Oh man. Dude, if you want to make reaction videos, that was one of my favorite things.
I felt like we made it.
Yeah, that was awesome. Like
We made
watching
it.
somebody watch us talk about something, that was pretty awesome. I'm not
They
gonna lie
thought
to you.
like it was worth the time,
30
like
minutes of
their
time.
time
Yeah.
to like respond.
Yeah.
And so like definitely appreciate it.
Also, here's one thing. I don't know how we're gonna pull this off, but I would love to do this. I would love it if y'all could just submit videos. If there's a way, Jarrelle, we need to figure this out, where they could just submit videos and tell us their opinions, and then we'll live react to your opinions.
Yeah.
Bring you up on the show. Like, that's the whole point. We're building a community here. We want you guys to have your own opinions. But, bro, I love it. I love this community so much. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we have a new camera that came out.
Oh, yeah.
This
All right.
week.
Are y'all over new cameras? Because a new camera just dropped, and I think this one's going to be...
They
This-
better buckle in because there's going to be a lot of new cameras coming
Bro,
out.
this camera, though, this one that we're about to talk about, this is the one.
I can't tell. I can't tell if he's being sarcastic right now.
All right, go ahead. I'll let you tell him about this awesome new camera.
Oh, well, I got to be honest with you. My level of the knowledge of this brand is about as small
We need Rumen.
as this brand's market share.
Where's Rumen? Rumen called this at the beginning of the show.
So the question that we have for you guys is, do you guys think that film is a trend, just a trendy thing, or do you guys feel like film is making its way back? Because Pentax
Yeah.
just dropped the 17.
Yeah, it's funny. He had to look at the board because he forgot the name of it.
I just want to make sure that I got it right. Now here's the cool part. Like, I don't know about I just watched Peter McKinnon's video.
Okay.
Where he's talking about he spent this last year and a half maybe
Yeah.
going through a film journey,
Yeah.
going away from digital.
Yeah.
And I want to know, even from you guys in the chat, like this is the reason why we asked this question. Is film a trend or is it coming back? Because it feels like people are getting tired a little bit of the digital,
Yeah.
the over sharpened,
Yeah.
the clinical, the perfect.
Yeah.
And obviously, like you've got some film cameras in here,
Yes.
but is it coming back? Is the 17 going to make waves?
So can
Or
I
not.
say something that I think is going to make people mad? And I want to preference it by saying I have film cameras up there. Okay. I have film cameras up there that don't ever get touched
Hold on. Have you shot and developed a roll?
on all the cameras.
Okay, great.
Every camera has had multiple rolls through it. Just probably not in the last year. So I'm going to say this, and this is going to probably make some people mad. It might make Peter McKinnon mad. I don't know. We know he's seen
Hot-
a episode before.
Hot take.
This is a scorching take. You ready?
Oh,
Film is the ultimate form of privilege in the filmmaking space.
Okay.
in the photography space.
Yeah.
You have to have a certain level of privilege to have the audacity to take a photo, not know what you got, then take that film to somebody else, develop it, scan it, and then get this, digitize it again just so you can post it on social media for all of us to see. I think if you shoot film and then you share it digitally, bro, that is the ultimate form of privilege, and you should feel like you have made it. I don't know where you've made it to, but you have made it, because the amount of steps when all you're going to do is share it online with people who are probably going to spend less than 20 seconds looking at it.
Yeah.
Is insane. Now, if you're making a book, like I think Peter McKinnon's probably making a book,
Oh, yeah,
or
for
if
sure.
you're doing like a art exhibit, that might be something different. But if you're taking photos on a film camera and sharing them on Instagram, that is, you have made whatever, because you have decided to take something that should be as simple as possible and make it the most complicated process you could possibly do. And you could say, I already hear somebody in the comments, especially probably on one of the clips, saying, well, if you're a really good film photographer, it's not that difficult. I'm sorry. You're taking a photo and then you got to give it to somebody else to process. And if you're like, well, what if you process it yourself? Dude, I'm sorry. Like, that's just so much work for somebody to spend 20 seconds looking at your photo.
Yeah.
I think that if you can do it, you should feel really good about yourself.
So playing the devil's advocate on this on you.
Oh,
No, I'm
man.
just asking. I'm asking.
Okay.
Okay.
Film privilege. That's right, Kofi.
So, what would be? Let's talk about value. Okay.
Okay.
What would be? What's a high quality mirrorless camera price? Could we put a price on, like, let's say $4,500?
What do you mean?
Like cost of a really good mirrorless camera?
I think you say $2,500.
$2,500.
Yeah.
What if you want something more than the 24 megapixels?
I don't think you need more than that.
Okay, that's fine. $2,500. Okay. Lens.
15 to 2,000.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're at
$4,000.
$4,000.
Yeah. Let's call it
4,500.
Let's call it 4,500.
Okay, perfect. Memory cards, a couple $100.
You already
Batteries.
got them. Already
Yeah.
got them.
Taxes.
Where are you
5,000.
going? I live in Texas. I don't pay
$5,000.
taxes on gear.
Is it safe to say a $5,000 value to be able to take photos? Let's add in computer. Because you got to, well, I guess you could say phone.
Yeah, phone.
So phone,
Where are you
$1,000.
getting to? Come on.
Overall,
Okay.
$6,000
Okay.
to be able to snap a photo,
Yes.
upload it to your phone.
Sure. Are you
Edit
trying to
it,
say that
process
film
it.
cameras are so cheap?
No, I'm not saying that it's cheap, but what I'm asking you is playing on the devil's advocate on this part is, what about the art form? Like, what if you like the aesthetic of film? Maybe it's not about the flex.
Yes.
And it's just like you like that particular aesthetic.
Yes.
If you're going to spend $6,000
Yes.
to post on Instagram.
Nobody's spending $6,000 to post on Instagram, Terrell. I'm going to show you.
Oh,
I'm going to show you exactly how.
You do.
No,
I do.
No.
We all do.
No. We spend
All the people on here.
We spend $6,000
I see what you're saying.
for business.
Yeah.
And then we post on Instagram. You know who posts on Instagram? My wife. She does this.
Yeah, but we're not talking to the.
We
your
are.
wife's not buying a film camera
And
to
she's
post on
also
Will.
not buying a $6,000 mirrorless camera to post on Instagram either. So let's keep it straight. All right?
Yeah. But go down the road with me. $6,000.
No, I don't want to go down that road because it's not
$6,000.
realistic. It's not realistic. This is why I say film is a privilege. It's because you are choosing.
But is not an R5 a privilege with a $2,000 lens?
If you're only buying it to post on Instagram, then yes.
But do you think that film people are only buying it to post on Instagram? That's the question, I guess.
I think that most of them probably are. I think they do. Because here's the thing. They may enjoy. Oh, we must have got a super chat. What? Super chat. Look at the high five.
Flashing lights.
We need to have like a thing where like just like money rains down from the screen or something. We got to update that. But real talk, I feel like most people who are shooting on film, most people, not all, but most people who are shooting on film are and you're just posting on Instagram, it's a privilege thing. And that's okay. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's a bad thing.
And my point was that you should feel good about yourself, that you made it. But I'm sorry, if that is the process that you want to take to create photography, then you should feel that privilege in the work that you're making. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Just get a Fuji.
No, I don't.
Look, Ruben said it. Just get Fuji if you like the aesthetic.
So I got to be fair with you.
Yep.
I don't think that Fuji's film emulation is as good as
real film.
Yeah.
Well, of course not. It's an emulation. It's not the real thing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong. I had a Mamiya medium format, developed 2 rolls because it was so expensive. So expensive.
Sorry, I just love that comment.
But I loved the unique characteristics. It would never be an Instagram camera for me. And it would never be a daily driver. Never.
But you enjoyed the process.
Yes.
That is a privilege that you get to have
for sure.
as a creator.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, for
when
sure.
you choose to use film.
But don't you think at this point in the game, if people are buying a $2,500 camera, that too is a privilege?
If it's not for business, yes.
Even if it is for business. Because there are some people...
At a certain point, everything is privilege. I mean, let's be honest.
I'm just trying to figure out your distinction when it comes to privilege for film.
For film, I think it's privilege. I really do. Because it's not a process that you need anymore. It's like I don't know, man. It's just like we've moved past it. We've made the process so much easier to create and get out that if you're choosing to take a slower process and spend money outside of the fast process to go to the slower process, then you've made it. You've made enough and you have enough time and you have enough creative freedom to do that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think if you started an Instagram channel, or not channel, you started an Instagram account, you bought a film camera, and you're just exclusively posting film, 1 post a day or whatever frequency, and you've arrived, yeah, I get what you're saying. I think that there are going to be people that dabble,
yeah,
that like, and yes, it is privilege, but to me, nothing's needed. Not to go existential.
Oh, man.
But Instagram is not needed. No person needs to post to Instagram. I think everything is everything's a privilege.
Okay.
Not even to defend, because I'm not defending film people. I don't know anyone that shoots film.
I shoot
so
film.
I do. I'm a Mamiya shooter too.
I shoot film. Yeah, look at them. Look at all the dust on those. I let them get dusty so it adds more character to the shot.
Do you? So to answer the question, is it a trend or is it a here to stay?
I think everything comes and goes. I think that it's a trend, and I think it's a trend because digital cameras have gotten so good that people want challenge. We naturally look for conflict.
They've gotten too good.
They're too good.
Yeah.
So how do I make this thing that I used to enjoy more challenging? I've done it. Like you get a fixed camera like a Fuji X100V, or you get a Leica Q or something like that because you're like, oh, I want to be limited to just one lens. Film is kind of like the ultimate version of privilege of that. That's all I'm saying. But I don't know. We need to pull up that super chat real quick because we didn't. I mean, we acknowledged it.
We acknowledged it,
but we didn't bring it up on screen. Let's read it first. Make sure.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you go? Okay. We've had some wild.
Forget you, Brandon.
We've had some wild super chats. I'm not gonna lie. We've had some wild ones where I'm like, why did we bring that up? All right, go ahead and read it.
All right. I tried film photography because I wanted to get better. What shooting film taught me was to be intentional with taking photos instead of the spray and pray method I use in digital photography.
That is true. You will be more intentional.
Dude, I just not even just a month ago, shot a recital.
Yeah.
I shot 150,000 photos.
I was so confused.
Me-
I was
me
like, how
personally?
many? That's a low number.
Me personally, no. There was 3 cameras on the job.
Yeah.
Hired 3 other people. We had 150,000, and that was through the whole event, not
no.
through 4 shows
No.
between 3 photographers.
No.
And we were at stinking the low burst rate.
Wow.
We were at the low.
Bro, you just should have shot the whole thing on film. There you go.
We should have just shot it on. Should have bought a red.
I
Dude.
love it. All right, it's
Never
time
again.
for a new segment. It's a new segment, but we
Mm-hmm.
we figured this out right before we went live because y'all know we just be figuring stuff out as we go. And so we don't have like a bougie intro, but hey, Travis, we got some stuff for you next week. Next week we'll have a better intro, but for now, this is a new segment we're calling the Rumor Roundup.
Wah, 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 wah.
Rumor Roundup. All
Dude,
right.
cut that, Travis. And that's the bougie intro.
That should be it. All right, Rumor Roundup. Jarrell's got some rumors for us. We're going to talk about it because we need to. And yeah, it's going to be, I think it should be interesting.
Yes. So, actually,
Let's not do the
bro,
first one because I'm tired of you. It's all you.
That's what I was about to say. He's kicking it to me to do the rumor roundup. And
Just don't give your opinions, okay? You give
this
the
is
rumor.
the year of Canon.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like,
No.
you don't even want to hear it. So start off with your little Apple, rumor.
Okay, now this actually is, let's start with the good rumor. Let's
Okay.
start with your good
Yeah.
rumor, but just, level yourself, okay? 'Cause
Yeah.
I know you can get a little excited over there.
Yes. So check this out. Rumor sites are reporting that Canon is going to have a huge announcement on the 3rd week of July.
3rd week of July. Okay,
Third
so
week of
so
July.
we're just 3 weeks away.
So we're looking at a potential R1 and an R5 Mark II
Okay.
official announcement. We got the development announcement of the R1. We actually haven't heard anything about the R2 except for rumors. But we are hearing of
Wait, R2.
the R5 Mark II.
Oh, bro, you had me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we haven't heard even a development announcement of the R5 Mark II.
Yeah, do we
But-
know that camera really exists right now?
We have no idea except for speculation.
Okay.
Obviously, the R5 and
Okay.
the R6 dropped at the same time,
Yeah.
which I think Canon learned.
that's a
I
bad
don't know
idea.
if that's a good idea
Yeah, I think that was a bad idea.
because you're just eating your own tail.
Yeah.
So the R6 Mark II got an update,
Yep.
and we're a little. We've been waiting
Yeah.
for a little bit on the R5 Mark II.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. Okay.
So, and the
July,
R5 was such
something.
a popular camera, even to this day, super popular camera. So there's no reason to believe that they're not following up with the R5 Mark II. And so what we've heard is in the 3rd week of July, they're gonna do both. And with the R5 Mark II potentially shipping in the August timeframe and the R1 a little bit further out, maybe September, October.
All right. Well,
So
that's not news. This next one I'm actually semi-excited about.
Yeah?
This one I actually care about.
okay.
Okay? You
Yeah.
ready? So this is something else from Canon. I'm going to steal this one from you because I
Okay.
don't want to hear you get all excited again.
Oh.
All right.
I'm actually salty about this one a little bit.
Really?
A little bit. No, well, I got an interesting take, but you go.
Okay, so I don't really know the details, but I do know
It's on the board.
it's on the board, so I'm going to say it. So Canon, actually, I shouldn't say this because I don't know anything about it.
I am the Canon one. I am the Canon. So I got to be honest with you. I'm going to be real. And I don't know whose fault it is, but DJI Mic 2, Pro 2, whatever it's called, they released a cordless
Yes.
adapter for only Sony cameras.
Yeah, that was a little...
And I was a little disappointed.
So I think, here's my thought. Here's my take. I believe that is because more Sony cameras have the smart hot shoe because Sony makes that little microphone adapter.
Okay.
That Sony makes that adapter that goes directly into the hot shoe. And a lot of Canon cameras, until recently,
Yes.
did not have smart hot shoes.
Where they at, bro?
So that's a Canon fault. Canon messed up. So
DJI messed
no.
bro.
So here's the deal. If you're DJI and you're looking at the market right now and you're developing a product, how many Sonys are in people's hands that have a smart hot shoe versus how many Canons are in people's hands that have a smart hot shoe?
DJI, send us the details.
I think that they made a business decision.
Yes.
Not saying that you're going to like it, but they made a business decision. Canon put this smart hot shoe in some more cameras and sell those suckers, and I think DJI will make the same accessory.
For sure. So also a little salty, and to be honest, like I didn't know if it was a Canon thing, like because especially with the RF mount, they've been a little proprietary.
They were
in,
actually.
like who they're sharing with and who they're not sharing with.
Even with the R5C, it was like this is gonna work with the Tascam unit, and they like sold it as like a Tascam thing.
It could be Canon's fault.
Maybe.
Could be Canon's fault. It could be DJI thinking that the market's not big enough.
Maybe.
Regardless, I was a little salty because the reality is I hate that little cable from the transmitter into the camera. I hate it. Just makes the camera more unorganized. Love the Reds. Reds just boop, and you're good. Monitor.
Well,
whatever.
I want to be fair.
Not on audio.
Not on audio. You are going to run a cable for audio for the Reds. So just want to be fair.
But would love one day for there to be a cableless camera. It would be incredible.
That'd be nuts.
So with that being said, Canon on May 27th, but it was just reported this week.
I was about to say.
I know. It's like
June.
It feels like it's a late.
This is like a late rumor report.
Late rumor, but it was just recently reported. They just filed with the FCC.
Yeah.
That they are going to do a wireless camera, a wireless microphone, but it will go into the multi-function hot shoe.
So Canon's making their own.
They're making their own.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that's pretty cool.
So here's the deal.
Yeah.
How good is their microphone going to be?
So
that's the only fail on this. The potential flaw is your mic game strong?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I don't think any of these camera companies have ever really had strong audio backgrounds.
Based upon the built-in microphones?
Based upon everything we have seen from them.
Based upon you're not a microphone camera.
Yeah. I mean, like Sony, obviously, they make microphones for everything. Like even my PlayStation controller has a microphone in it. You know what I mean? So like they have had more time to play around with the audio side of things where like Canon, they have no background in audio really other than the built-in
They got that
mics.
little shotgun that goes into the multifunction, but
Do they?
Yeah.
Canon has one?
They have one.
I didn't know that.
That's how
crappy it is. Nobody knew about it.
Whoa. Let's spin that real quick.
Oh.
It's unknown.
Let's spin it to make Canon look good.
No, well, who want like
No,
it's
you're
an
good.
unknown. They have like 3 accessories. Don't quote me. 3 accessories for their multifunction hot shoe.
Yeah. Well, the biggest one is they partnered with Tascam. I think
Yes.
they expected Tascam to move it for them. And maybe that was a temporary thing. I mean, we just saw Panasonic, not to bring them back up again, but they now introduced 32-bit float because of that attachment. So I think it's a good thing that Canon's doing this. We've seen Canon patents come and nothing ever show up from it. And then sometimes it's like 4 years and we're like, oh yeah, that's that thing from blah, blah, blah. So
this feels more imminent because this isn't a patent. This is an FCC filing.
Oh.
So
okay.
there's
a product.
This is the year of Canon video.
I am convinced that
It's the year.
you are taking bribes from Canon under the table and not telling me about it.
So I'll tell you, bro. I'll tell you.
You're like, look, you may not know,
Coming to
but
the
there'll be
office
signs.
next week with the C400.
You're like, I won't tell you, but there will be signs.
No, yeah, seriously. No, I'm pro Canon, biased towards Canon, but I do feel like they are, and not just them, Nikon. This is the year Nikon is putting their foot on people's necks and literally saying, we are focusing towards video. GH7 and Canon. Like, I feel like in the past, we got mirrorless cameras that had video features.
You know what? That's what I'm going to say.
Now,
That's what I'm going to say this
we
year
have mirrorless cameras that have photo features.
I think that's the year. I think 2024 is the year that mirrorless cameras. What are you doing, Shut
Canon.
up. That 2024 is the year that mirrorless cameras understand that video is first,
Yes.
photo is second.
Yes.
And for years, we have had to deal with video issues, trying to make these photo cameras
Recording
work for
limits.
video, record limits,
Overheating.
not having video monitoring features, waveform, like stuff that seems easy.
Log.
But now all the companies, I think, especially, probably thankfully because of like TikTok and Instagram Reels and YouTube blowing up and everybody wanting to be a social media influencer, I think now they're like, oh, we need to focus on video, and the whole market is just rising with the tide.
Yeah, because if Sony, and not that Sony would, let's say, let's say Sony, if they chose to not put waveforms, then, and everybody else is doing it, they're going to fall behind. So this is incredible for us.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, I just, a couple weeks ago, took some photos on my 5D3, and I was like, this looks so good. Photography has not changed.
Yeah.
10 years, 15 years? Like, what? Like, when, like, if you dust off an old camera, you're not going to be like, man, that sure looks fuzzy. Or, man, that sure looks whatever. Now, obviously, features like eye, autofocus, and that sort of stuff are good. But, man, like, photo has primarily been unchanged for so long.
Yep.
But, man, thank you guys for putting your efforts into video.
Yes. Shout out. All right.
All right.
I think we're good on. Oh, wait. The rumor. Last little rumor. It's not really that much.
It's a small one.
It's a very small one. But the Apple Vision
Apple
Pro,
listened to us. They
Apple
listened to
did
us.
not listen.
They listened to us.
They don't care what
they
we have
heard
to say.
us say
They don't care.
500 or bust. They heard us.
Apple has announced that they are, or the rumor currently is.
Apple hasn't now.
Apple didn't announce anything.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. No, the rumor currently is that they have stopped working on the high-end version 2 of the Vision Pro, and they are going to focus their efforts on a less expensive model, which is what we said they needed to do.
Yes.
I mean, I don't
the
think
the universe told them.
their pocketbooks
Abandoned ship.
told them, we ain't selling these things.
Yes.
We need a cheaper model. So I think that's good. I think that's good for creators all around. I think we're going to continue to see some improvements there, but hey.
And even if that's not what they're doing, we're just going to keep saying it until they do it.
Until they do it. All right. Now, I think it's time that we hop into a subject that we touched on months ago. And now we're starting to see the ramifications of it. So let me set the stage here. A few months ago, we started talking about OpenAI's Sora, which is their AI video model, blah, 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 blah. Basically, it was like the best video model from AI that we have seen. I mean, fairly convincing stuff. And initially, the first question became, it's like, all right, who is going to actually use this? And how will this disrupt like actual creators, like actual filmmakers? Our clients, our companies just gonna go running to this? And a lot of people said companies won't use this, or it will just be a tool, or, you know, it's not that good. Well, companies are using it. And big companies, in fact. We actually just saw in the new report that the first commercial product from Sora has been released, which is very interesting because, one, the company that used it is Toys R Us, which, as far as I'm concerned, I thought they had went out of business. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought Toys R Us was
When
gone.
you said big companies, I was like, oh.
I say big
Formerly
because
known as-
they have a Macy's Day Parade balloon. That's probably it.
No, I mean
I don't
growing
have
up,
one. I want one.
I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Hey, I know
Yeah.
Jeffrey.
Yeah.
So, like, but they have worked with Sora, and it brought two questions to mind. And I'm going to let you, because you've not seen the commercial
I have not
yet.
seen it.
So you guys are going to
And we're going to show it?
We're going to show the commercial.
Okay.
Yeah, so if the stream goes down right after the commercial, it's because we showed the commercial. But this is my question. This is like a serious question when it comes to AI. Can you, like, my understanding was you can't copyright anything created by AI. That was my understanding. Now, Scott's in the chat. Scott, you're incredibly smart. You know way more than I do. So, Scott, you figure out, let me know.
Toys R Us did go out of business.
Okay, I thought they went out of business.
They went into bankruptcy.
But now, no, actually, they went into Macy's is where they went. Because that's the only place you can find them. But here's the deal. I thought you couldn't copyright anything that was made with AI. So is this Toys R Us ad not copyrighted, which means we should be able to play it?
So question. Question in that. Question for your question. Is OpenAI saying you can't copyright it? Or is like the US government saying you can't copyright
the
it?
US government says that anything that is created with artificial intelligence cannot be copyrighted, is my understanding.
Okay.
Now, I could be wrong here. I could be 100% wrong, but I don't think I am. So
is that portion then of the video that they did Sora AI uncopyrighted, but the rest of the commercial is?
So I don't know.
This is so gray.
This is so gray, but I think we need to go ahead and play the commercial. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the commercial for you guys so that way you guys can check it out for yourself. We're doing this live, so give me 1 second. I'm going to bop this over here. I need to grab my mouse.
You're so fancy.
Look, we get fancy every night. Where's my mouse at, bro? Am I on the screen?
I got you.
Can
Are
put
you
me
on it
the
there
other
now?
screen?
Or what am I? Just click on it?
Yeah, just play the video.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay, there you go. Move your mouse over go to the second screen so you can play it over here.
I don't have a second. Oh, I don't have it.
Okay, hold on. I got it. Look at us go. Look at us go.
Yeah, you're on it now.
Here we go. What did I do?
One more time.
All right, here we go.
Where's the 6 fingers?
I don't think there's any fingers in the entire video. Look at that.
Oh, that's creepy.
That's weird.
That's so creepy.
Is that weird?
Can they hear us?
Yeah, no, they should be able to hear us. This is wild, guys.
They got that bankruptcy budget.
Bro. What is this?
This is some dystopian future, bro.
Look at the giraffe, bro. I feel like I'm having a fever dream.
Show me them fingers. Oh, yeah.
And then they bring in some real assets. They're like to just Toys R Us. Look, see? Macy's. There it is. Toys R Us at Macy's. All right. I got to know. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about this?
So, Brandon, I got to be 1,000% honest with you.
Yeah.
My first question is, why? Like, did y'all not have money?
They don't. They're bankrupt, remember? This is Toys R Us.
No, but I'm wondering, like, does Macy's not have money? Does your mama have money? Does your daddy have money? Like, you're that broke? Because here's the deal. I was expecting to be blown away. And I was actually creeped out.
Yeah.
So, like, I believe this about Sora.
Okay.
I believe this about AI.
Mm-hmm.
If this is day one, and it's not day one, this is probably like day 50 or day 100 or day 300 or whatever.
Yeah.
3 years from now, 2 years from now, maybe even 6 months from now, we need to be afraid for our jobs.
No.
Here's why. Not necessarily like, will we get replaced? But like, let's say they can do, if they're going to do 12 commercials a year, and I don't know what businesses do, will they then jump up to 24? Like, will they do 60% of them, 75% of them through Sora? And then the really big ones that they do for the Super Bowl that they need perfection for? Like, will it cut into our bottom line? Obviously, this cut into somebody's bottom line. If Toys R Us knew that they were going to make a video and then some little intern said, well, we could use Sora AI, then somebody would have gotten paid and they didn't.
So that's the question that with this whole AI stuff kind of like makes me start thinking about is, let's take Toys R Us, for example. They might, I don't know how much they would have spent. I don't even know how you even partner with Sora right now to make a commercial is beyond me. But to your point, like let's say everything you just said is like factual, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were like, oh, we're going to make a video. We have a $50,000 budget to make a video, to make a commercial. $100,000 budget to make a commercial. And somebody was like, we can do it for 10 using Sora and a little bit of VFX. I don't know if companies are just like saying, oh, we're just going to slash the budget and do it cheap through AI, or if it's like this where Toys R Us, I haven't seen Toys R Us commercial probably ever. And like, this might be the only way they can make a commercial in their current financial times. So it's like, are we going to see people using Sora who could not afford videographers? That's like when people used to say like, oh, people's phones shoot in 4K now. They're not going to need a videographer. And I was like, no. The ones who could never afford a videographer will be the ones who will just use their phone. But the ones who could afford a videographer from jump, they're going to still hire a videographer because they can afford it. Thus, they understand value. So they understand the value of hiring somebody. So
I hope that we're still doing this in 10 years so that we can cut back to this clip.
In 10 years, there will be a Sora version of you and I having this conversation while we're on the beach.
Brandon is Sora right now. But in 10
if you guys
years,
want to know how good Sora is,
wave your fingers, Brandon.
I got 10 feet.
In 10 years, your take. You give Sora 10 years. You don't think, hot take, you don't think that people the video industry hasn't been decimated?
Oh, I was going to say, in 10 years, I don't necessarily know if we're watching videos in a 2D plane.
But even still, who's taking care of it in the 3D plane?
I think when we move to that space, I don't think the AI I think we'll like naturally progress. Like, I don't think the AI will be able to keep up. Maybe.
So
I think I'm hopefully thinking.
Yeah, in 10 years, if it's still 2D for whatever reason.
Okay.
Vision Pro 5 didn't take off.
Okay.
If it stays the same, are companies using Sora AI in 10 years of Sora growth?
I think there'll be probably some integration for sure.
Okay. That's fair.
I think like the same way we use CGI and VFX in our movies and films, you will just be using some form of AI. Fully, but there are movies that are fully 100% right now CGI.
Yes.
There may be movies that are fully
Avatar.
Sora. But they still use people.
Yeah. So, Brandon, we're about to get into a new topic that I'm going to call creator privilege.
Creator privilege?
Because in 10 years, you are going to be privileged to use a human being.
Ooh.
Hot take. Because Sora AI,
I think I like that.
If you say 3 years from now, it'll be integrated.
No, I
would
like that.
believe you.
Yeah.
10 years from now, the way that crap is exponentially exploding, you will be privileged to use a organic human being.
I think that's happening now. I think people are already over stuff being so fake that's why people enjoy. I think we got a new subscriber. What? Oh no, super chat.
Super chat.
What? It's a new super chat dance. No, but I think legitimately, people are already over stuff being fake. And even models and people being overly edited and
have you heard on Instagram
the made with AI or what?
Yeah, no. Well, they have AI model. I think we talked about this before. They have AI models that are influencers.
Oh, yeah. I've
They're
seen
not
that.
real people.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And brands have said, I don't have to negotiate.
Yeah.
I don't have to ask them to have the product on this side of the frame.
Yeah.
We tell the company, make the girl's hair pink and pose with the product, blah, blah, blah. Write this post.
But I think
And there is no influencer pushback.
We will push. I think people will naturally, like, first, people will adopt.
Yes.
Like we are. We're currently in the AI adoption process. But just like all the trends we've talked about before, film,
Yes.
whatever, we are going to see the pendulum swing back the other direction where they are going to want that authenticity. And I think people already want that authenticity. They already want a connection with a real person. And I think as long as you can do that, you're going to be okay. Like, you may be using AI as the videographer to enhance your work, but the client still wants to talk to you as a person to tell them, this is my vision.
Yes.
Make my vision happen. And the same way we've had Photoshop. Like, we've both worked in the real estate field.
Mm-hmm.
We've both had realtors look at us and say, make me skinny, right?
Yes.
They can now do that in AI, but they're still asking us to do it because they don't want to do it. They want to have a person just do it for them.
Absolutely.
So we may have to integrate Sora and AI into our video creation process because the client's like, can you make the sky blue? And you're like, yeah, absolutely. Just select it, make blue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, that's where I think it's going to go.
100%. I don't think that some jobs will be lost. Everybody, the whole industry, not.
No, I
But
think
there will need to be a shift in
Yeah.
your mindset. If your mindset is, I don't use AI because I do everything myself, you might turn into a dinosaur.
or you better be really good at what you do.
Or you might turn into a dinosaur. I can't imagine a future in which, well, maybe the film people, maybe the people that shoot on film, where it's just you.
Maybe. I don't know. What did I think it was Beyond Slow Motion. Let me see. Pull that back up.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
Darren. What's up, dude?
Okay, he
says-
says the real immediate 2-year window risk of AI is the peripheral jobs, sound design, colorist, voiceover work, rough cuts, etc.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I mean, because I've seen just in the last few weeks something for all of these. Like, for example, sound design, you can do that through AI now. You can also, you can use Artlist. They have AI integrated into their stuff now. The colorist, Travis literally just sent us a colorist AI tool that can like look at your footage in log
Yeah.
and give you multiple different variations and like start coloring your stuff. The voiceover work, we've already
11
known
labs.
11 labs,
Yeah.
but have you seen, I'll have a video coming out about it soon. I think it's public knowledge.
I don't need another subscription, Brandon.
You don't, but you already probably paid for it. It's Artlist.
Okay.
Artlist is now integrating voiceover AI.
You didn't hear that here.
I think it's public.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure. It's public. If it's not, we'll cut it out. We'll cut it out on this live stream. And then rough cuts, Gleam. I don't know if you've used that, but then also Podcaster.
I've heard of it, but haven't. Yes.
So like, there's so many AI tools already that are taking out
use-
these different little jobs.
Who do I use? Who do I use to do my cuts?
I don't know.
But yeah, no.
But that is the one thing. And like, to me, Darren, to even further your point a little bit harder, is what makes me nervous about AI taking over those jobs that like we don't really want to do. Like, I mean, who really wants to do the first cut? You know what I mean? Like, some people really love coloring, but like if you could just like use AI to get yourself started and then kind of work your way through, like that is helpful. But the problem is a lot of people, especially in the industry, get their start in the industry by doing those jobs that we don't really want to do, but they learn to be an assistant editor. They learn to edit by doing the first cut. And then from doing the first cut, they then learn how to be a better editor, and they can slowly grow more and more as a editor, or as a creator by doing those lower jobs. But if we allow AI to do all of those, that means there's no more entry-level positions for people to jump in on.
Yeah.
And now their chances of rising up in the creative space is way less.
Yeah.
So if you want to get an entry-level position in a lot of creative like companies, you almost have to become like an AI expert who can like help the company by using AI. But unfortunately, like that's not necessarily what we want. And I saw a post, and I'll kind of end this whole AI rant with this, but I saw this post online, and it was like, we all thought AI was going to do the jobs that we didn't want to do so we could have more time to do the creative stuff that we want to do. But what has happened is AI is doing all of the creative stuff that we want to do, forcing us to have to do all the jobs we don't want to do. And I think that's where people start to feel kind of like gross about AI is because it's like, oh, if it's doing the video and it's enhancing the photo and it's doing all the artistic stuff, what is there left for me to do? The paperwork?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like posting, like until that becomes like, like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, I think as creators, we have to like try to like, obviously I think it's impossible to like not try to embrace the technology because that'll leave you, like you said, a dinosaur. But at the same time, you need to really, like right now, I think it's so important that you figure out your voice, you figure out your style, you figure out what makes you uniquely you, and you own that even through using AI. But maybe don't, gosh, this is what sucks about AI. If you become too known for a style, then I'll just be like, do it in the style of Jarrelle.
Yeah.
And then AI just
Alex Hermosi.
Yeah. Gosh. So it's a tough spot. I'd love to know what you guys thought.
Darren has a follow-up.
Yeah.
And I think it's agreeing with you. Events, documentaries, sports, etc. will be safe-ish.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're actually having to follow a real person, like a human person, then I think you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, unless... Ish, you know?
Ish.
But until you can, like, upload somebody's likeness and then...
before we tank in the numbers, let's move on to
now. We're good.
A happy topic. You guys all will have jobs forever. Well, at least we're in this boat together.
We are.
As creators, as video production owners.
We'll be fine. We're going to be on this boat, and we'll figure it all out.
When we pivot, we will also let you know where we're going. All right. So, there are some new releases.
That we haven't talked about?
Yeah, some stuff that has just dropped that we feel like you guys should know about.
Okay.
And one of the big things that
safe-ish.
This is not a strictly Canon thing.
Okay.
Sigma has dropped a new lens.
They did.
It seems interesting for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's a zoom 18 to 50, which is cool. And it's
that's
available.
Like roughly a 24 to 70. That's about, I mean, that's fairly close in that same range if you're like comparing full frame, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And the thing that I think that I like about it the most is the price. It's got a constant aperture of 2.8, which is great. And I have a Sigma 35 1.4, so I love Sigma as a brand. But pretty much the highest version of this lens is $600.
Yeah, and that's the Canon version.
And that's the Canon version.
Why they do Canon dirty like that? Because
seriously,
why'd
you do us dirty, Sigma?
The Canon version is $600. The Leica version is, what is it, $550,
I think.
$550.
Yes.
And then the Sony version is like $540. So like
seriously, we know your alliances.
They just know Canon. Y'all will buy whatever.
Maybe the man, bro. I was at Best Buy the other day. Sidetrack. I was looking at a hard drive. Same hard drive. They're like, the Apple version is $200. The non-Apple version is $150. And I'm like, it says X9 on both. What are we talking about? Why are we getting charged $50 extra for Apple? I know the answer if you're not an Apple user. Apple people will buy it for more. But I put that Apple version back on the shelf and reformatted the hard drive at $150. Anyways, take off that Canon tax.
That's
Sigma.
a Canon tax.
We see you.
We also got a release of the new Insta360 Go 3S.
Now, isn't that feeling a little quick?
I think that's why it's an S.
But
Was the last one a 2?
the last one was like 3 months ago.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. These Insta360 as a brand name, I think is like kind of terrible because then it puts numbers in the name of the company.
Yes.
So then when you then say the model of it, you've got more numbers getting involved. And I'm just like, I'm over it.
I'm pretty sure, I'm trying to see when this thing dropped, but I feel like, oh my gosh, it dropped in, well, I guess it's not that long
How long
ago.
has it been?
June 2023.
Oh, okay. So it's been exactly
It's been a year. It's been a year. But for whatever reason, it just
It
felt
did
like
feel
it
short.
was
Yeah.
really short. But the S is coming out. A few details on it because while I think for the size of camera, dope.
Yeah.
Tiny camera can
Yeah.
detach.
Yeah.
But 4K video, it's got a built-in 128 gigs of flash memory, and it's got a 2-hour battery life, and has a variety of slow motion features at 2.7K.
I think it's just a really good BTS camera.
Do you think it's a buy for Brandon Washington?
So I actually owned the first one or the second one. I think I owned the second one.
Okay.
And
The small detachable version?
yeah,
Okay.
the one that looked like more of a pill shape though.
Yes.
They didn't have the screen that flipped up.
Gotcha.
And I loved it. But it was so small that I lost it. So I don't know what happened to that thing.
Insta360, hit us up.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I disclose all my sponsors.
Not censored. Well, Brandon Washington will be buying his own
Yeah.
Insta360
I will not be getting any brand deals from Insta.
unless
Oh.
you've turned a new leaf.
If you did not think this show was uncensored, you know now.
Well,
Let's go.
yeah. Just gonna leave that hot. Just gonna leave it hot. And if you're an Apple user,
Oh, we just got a thumbs down. So Insta360 just left the chat.
oh wow. Ow.
Ouch. All right, it's all good. We'll keep it proper. Hey, if you actually like it where we keep it real,
Yes.
thumbs up. Let's offset those.
Yes.
Let's offset that.
Yes.
That ratio, please. Thumbs up the video. Let us know if you like the truth.
All right.
All right.
And then Final Cut.
Final. Well, yeah. Apple released a new app
Camera app.
specifically for video, and it gives you a little bit better control. I mean, Blackmagic already had theirs. It makes sense for Apple to release their own. Kind of was weird that they are just now releasing a pro app for capturing video on the phone.
I actually thought it was the opposite. I thought it was weird that they were using Blackmagic
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
for their commercials.
But now that they're using now they should be using their own app. You would assume.
Oh, well, I would assume.
But I mean, they don't use their own editors in most of their promos. They use DaVinci over
Yes.
Final Cut, which is, I think, a statement.
Which I guess my question
Yeah.
you used to work for Apple,
Yeah.
not on the like research and development, but you used to work for Apple. So my question is how in the world does this timing make sense? Like, how far out do you feel like they know the future iPhone features? How far out? Like, do you think that they know to the Apple 20?
I mean, I'm sure they're working, like they have teams, so allegedly. Allegedly. They have teams that are working on features. Constantly working on features. And then when it gets time to package the phone, they figure out which features are ready, which ones can work together. They can figure out marketing and all that stuff. put together a story, because Apple's all about story,
Mm-hmm.
and then release that feature, right? And I think that from I'm not even gonna say allegedly on this one. It's more just from like sources.
Mm-hmm.
Is that when they were working on the Vision Pro, they pulled a lot of teams
Mm-hmm.
in to work on the Vision Pro, and it's one of the reasons I've heard that this is why Final Cut didn't get upgraded for so long and was kind of left in the back burner, was because they were using all these teams to work on stuff for the Vision Pro.
Mm-hmm.
And we started to slowly start to see, like, oh, when something worked well on the Vision Pro, it made its way. Like, for example, Apple notoriously didn't have tracking for a really long time. And then they released tracking in Final Cut because I think they were working on it already, but more so for the Vision Pro, for its tracking system, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I think that, like, Apple probably is a few phones out, but they also have all these different features that they're currently working on simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
And they maybe don't know exactly which ones are going to go into the next phone. Obviously, now they do. Like, they're probably already through marketing on the next one. But they're probably like 2-3 phones out, I would imagine.
And the reason why I ask is you knew that supposedly you knew that this year's camera was going to be phenomenal. Good enough to shoot your own commercials.
Yeah.
So why are we late on this?
I think
On
software's
the-
just
on
not
the
ready
app.
yet. Software's just not ready yet.
What do you mean? You're a $2 trillion company. It just
It's
feels
people.
late.
It's
Feels
people.
like-
You got to remember, $2 trillion company does not change the people in the building. $2 trillion is just based off of how much it's
$2
selling.
trillion can put people in the building.
But you can't code any. I mean, you got to code at the speed of that it takes to actually make the app.
More
and then
people.
you got to okay. I don't know if you can just keep throwing people at it.
Keep
Drill's like,
poaching,
just throw more people.
Keep poaching everybody else, Apple.
More
and
people.
It just feels, you know what I mean? Like, I get what you're saying. There is limitations to everything in every company. There's budgets, all sort of things. And I'm not even saying that it was like a flop on their part, but like to me, I just thought it was kind of weird that it was like, you've developed this incredible camera, and to get the most out of it, you're using Blackmagic's app.
It's not the
I just
first
would have
time they've done
assumed.
this. It's not the first
No,
time they've
yeah,
done
yeah.
this. They did this back in the day with Filmic Pro.
Yeah.
And I think Apple is one of those companies that is like, okay, we are not the best at this yet.
Mm-hmm.
But when we do show up, we will be the best at it. And I
guess
think
that's
they're
fair.
willing to like not be the best to make the best thing.
That is very Apple.
This is why we see ChatGPT coming to the next iPhone, because they're like, our AI, because of safety and security, doesn't know everything. So
Series limited.
we're gonna partner with ChatGPT, and I'm sure the conversation started off with saying, "Hey, we're not gonna tell anybody it's ChatGPT," and they were like, "Cool, we want $1 trillion," and they were like, "All right, so we're gonna tell everybody it's ChatGPT," because you gotta bet they wanted to white label that,
Yeah.
because Apple loves being the king of the hill, so
Yeah.
it would have made way more sense for them not to tell people that
Oh,
it was
yeah.
ChatGPT. But now that it is, they can say, "Oh,
That
your
would have been figured
information
out.
got leaked. That's their fault."
That would have been figured out in 15 minutes.
Oh yeah.
When Siri, hey Siri, can you tell me whatever?
Yeah.
And we'd have been like, that is the most ChatGPT
It would have
answer
just
I've
got
ever
hit
gotten.
with a ton of emojis. ChatGPT loves emojis more than anybody else.
Now, that's a call out to all y'all. Emojis are great, but we know that you use ChatGPT.
Of course. Of course we do. All right. I think because I've been gone for so long
Yes.
that it is time for something that we personally have not done
Yes.
in a very long time. Honestly, I was kind of jealous last week that you did it with Porter, and I'm here for it. You ready for it?
Yeah.
Can you say the magic words?
Roll that intro.
What is the intro? I don't even know what we're playing.
Oh, let me see. Oh my goodness.
Are we playing? I know we're playing a game.
Yeah.
But what are we,
Oh gosh, I feel like this was like 2 episodes when I started the live stream
Oh,
before I was sitting in the chair. Oh, where we at? Oh.
what's the game?
Oh, it's underrated, overrated.
Oh, I don't know if we have that one triggered up.
Oh, it was in there. Did you take it out?
I don't know.
Let me see. Oh, I was about to just push.
Don't just push buttons. No, that's not it.
Alrighty, since this is the day of intros,
Okay.
Overrated, underrated. You guys know this game. We played it last week. Underrated, overrated. Underrated, overrated. But Justin Porter had some very spicy takes that I wanted to hear what Brandon had to say about that. So we've changed up some of the answers. So we want you guys to play in the chat. Make sure that you put whatever the thing is. So if I say Dragon Ball Z, all right, you're going to say underrated, overrated. Don't just put underrated, overrated because we won't know what you're saying. You have to put Dragon Ball Z, underrated, overrated. Let's start there. Brandon?
Hold on. I found it. I think I found it.
Because okay. Run that intro. See, give us enough time.
Anything is possible.
And we'll build you something. All right. So check us out. Let's start off with that. Light and easy.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z.
Underrated.
You would say that. And I think it's underrated too. But man, I don't understand people's sentiments.
What, people don't like it?
They don't even feel like it's anime because it's so mainstream. Right? You heard it, right?
I've heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't agree with it.
All right, so we're back on the actual topic of filmmaking. All righty, so check this out.
Yeah.
We've had so many new releases dropped. We're going to need your actual opinions.
Okay.
Not just your hype and good feelings, Brandon.
Okay, I got it.
All righty, let's start off with the darling of the day, the Z6 Mark III. Underrated or overrated? Considering everything, not just price, but everything.
It's weird. I want to say it's underrated, but
Okay.
I feel like it's actually like properly rated because I think people are correctly excited about it. I don't think it's getting overcasted by any means. I don't think anybody's sleeping on this one. So I do think that it is, but it is. Man, it's going to change some things. So I'm going to say that it's currently underrated because I know that there are people who are probably in the Sony camps, in the Canon camps, the Lumix camps, who are probably going to like turn their nose to it maybe. But they shouldn't.
Yeah.
They shouldn't.
I'm in agreement. I'm going to say underrated because of the brand, not because of the specs or the features. I
Yeah.
think people are going to look at it and say Nikon and think, I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I think it's underrated. I think shooting with it, bro, there's nothing in its class. There's nothing in its class.
Not to me.
And so if you've got reasons, like I don't have any Nikon glass and I'm invested in another ecosystem, that's fair. But there isn't a candle to what's the best camera right now. All right. C400. Underrated, overrated. And don't give me no middle.
Yeah, that's what Scott just said. Scott says you don't get to change the rules. Let's play popularly rated. I love you, Scott. I'm gonna say the C400 is. I'm gonna say it's also underrated. I'm gonna say it's underrated.
I was about to say.
It's just like the Z6 III for me, just at a different price point.
Yeah.
What you're getting for that price,
A Sony Burano.
I mean, it's not far off. Not far off. It's not far off. All right, what's the next one?
Yeah, it's underrated for sure. All righty. The GH7. Underrated, overrated. Your round is harder than Porter.
Yeah, this is tough. All right, can I split it? Can I split it?
No.
I'm gonna split it.
No.
I don't care what you say. It's my show.
Audience.
My name
Hold them to the fire.
is on the channel, so I can do what I want. I'm gonna say that the camera is underrated, but the RE log feature is overrated.
So,
I say what
overall,
I say what I said. Look, I think the camera is a little underrated, but and it's because of the Micro Four Thirds. It's like I'm not mad at anybody who doesn't like the Micro Four Thirds because I'm in the same camp. So underrated, but understood if you think it's overrated.
I was waiting for that, bro.
Look, Ruben says Brandon pays for the music. He can say whatever he wants. I love it. I love it. I don't know what music you're talking about. What music am I paying for?
I don't know.
I don't know.
For me, great camera, overrated.
All right, let's run it.
Okay. Alrighty. Now on
Says the
to
red
taking
spokesman.
a little bit the feet out of the fire. Alrighty. I've been seeing a lot of these pop up, not just reviews of like media reviews or reviewers,
Okay.
but real people.
Real people.
The DJI Focus Pro, the LiDAR, and the deal for the manual lenses.
God, you're talking about everything I'm excited about right now. I feel a little
Yes.
messed up, but I'm gonna go. I think that's underrated for now, only because you can't really buy it yet. Like, not a lot of people who've
If
actually
you didn't pre-order,
like the day of, you still don't have them. So I'm gonna say, so far from what I've seen, the DJI LiDAR system is still, with the focus and all that, the side handle, that is underrated. Although I will say, I've had the DJI LiDAR system on my Ronin, the one that came with it. I never figured to use that thing.
did they upgrade it though?
It's a little
Is
bit
it better?
but you have more control. And you
Gotcha.
have the screen, you can like tap on things and have it focus so it can like track and that kind of stuff.
Dude,
But you could do all that from your phone. So I don't know, man. Maybe it's a little overrated.
I'm at peak hype. When I saw a real world person use it,
Yeah.
this fixes all, I don't know. Allegedly,
yeah.
this fixes all eye autofocus hunting
Oh, yeah.
through camera brands. Like this is it.
Yeah.
Camera brands, listen to me now. Whatever software you're using for eye autofocus, dump it and put a LiDAR sensor on your stinking camera.
But LiDAR doesn't work well in low light, right?
No, it's brilliant in low light because it doesn't need light.
Oh, that's right. Well, then where is it limited? Is it limited? I thought it was limited by light or no.
It's not limited.
Oh, man. Okay.
Dude,
All right. Well, then you sold me. It's underrated.
dude,
I was on the fence.
I saw, now here's the deal. I guess like you can put the ring on a photography lens. So if you got photography lenses, it's not as good as the manual. But when I saw a real world person use it, well, Justin Porter did his like running around thing, but like when I just saw a normal person use it and rock back and forth like this, like people do in interviews, I was like, sold.
Done.
Sold.
All right.
Future of focus. Future of focus.
AI is not going to get rid of first ACs. DJI is. I got it. All right. next
Alrighty.
one.
So Justin Porter said last week that the global shutter
I saw
was
that
a
mess.
little
I saw that mess.
overrated.
Oh my gosh.
What is the global shutter to you?
No, man, the global shutter is underrated for sure. Like, I don't think people understand the value of a global shutter. Now, I'm not going to say that the global shutter is cheap because it's not. But I do believe that as tech gets better and gets cheaper, like it always does, I would not be surprised if in 10 years,
You're not going to need it in 10 years.
all cameras don't have a global shutter.
Sora, use a global shutter camera
In
for
10
this
years,
beach photo.
all cameras will have a global shutter because it just unlocks things that you can't have, like the Raptor X. Like, that's what gives it the extended highlights. Like,
Oh, really?
yes, like you can only get the extended highlights because of the global shutter, because it's literally capturing 2 frames simultaneously.
So do you think that the Komodo X?
I don't know if it can handle that recording processing. I don't know. I would
Bro.
love to see it have it,
Bro.
but it would cut all your frame rates in half.
Bro.
Because if you're shooting at 24 frames, you're really shooting at 48 frames.
If the Komodo X, not just the global shutter, but if the Komodo X had global shutter and extended highlights,
That'd be sick.
sir,
That'd be sick.
we might be changing the upgrade path.
I think that the global shutter is underrated. And I saw Porter saying that nonsense last week.
Well, here's the deal. Here's the problem. I kind of agree with him because I'm going to put your feet to the fire. Are you saying because it's underrated that people need to go out and buy?
No, because you're not buying a global shutter. You're buying a camera.
No, I know, but I'm saying.
No.
You're saying it's underrated. It's undervalued.
The
it
tech
needs to be.
Yes. Yes.
It's a go buy. Your next camera should be a global shutter. Is that what you're saying?
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying that the tech of a global shutter is underrated because people don't understand the value of the global shutter, which makes it underrated. But the cameras that it's currently in are not cameras that most people need to buy, which is totally fine. Totally fine.
So then we're going to follow this underrated. I'm going to say.
No, stay with Porter.
No.
Overrated.
I am. No, I literally was about to say that because I think that it's, to be fair, overrated may sound like it's a bad thing. Like the product's bad. It's superior.
Yeah.
It's good. Do I think people need it? I don't know that everyone needs it. So that's the reason why for me it's overrated, not because I think that it's not superior. It's superior. So,
but the rated is like, how do people perceive it? So do people perceive it? Like, are people overly hyping it or are they not hyping it enough?
well, Sony probably hyped it too much
That's not what I'm talking about.
through the A9 III.
Shout out to Darren. Another super chat. What did he say?
What did he say? He said
LiDAR limits. The LiDAR limit is distance.
Yes.
And it's hard with sports and wildlife.
But even their distance is pretty far.
Oh, well, we'll try to get our hands on it.
Darren, you tell us, but I think it's over 100 feet. I think it's pretty far. I'm pretty sure.
That's insane.
30 meters, I think, something.
That's insane.
Something.
That's
Anyways,
insane.
I could be wrong. I'm just talking. Alrighty. This is how I'm going to know how honest you are, Brandon. Following up the global shutter is stack sensor. Underrated, overrated. And just so you guys know in the chat, a stack sensor is for faster readouts.
Yes, when you
So
can't.
it's not global,
Yeah.
but it's so stinking fast that a lot of the problems that you would receive with the Sony a7 IV, you don't got. Underrated, overrated. Stack sensors.
I don't know if they're overrated.
This catch-22. We came with it today.
I'm gonna set up the game next week.
You already played a game with me. Choose your 5 cameras. You
No, I think stacks, man, they're like properly set. I'm gonna have to go under, I guess. I'm gonna go under, but I think people do understand like the benefit of a stack sensor. Like, I don't think anybody is like looking at a stack sensor and going like, "Oh, I don't want a stack sensor." You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like it's like, God, like I hate the cop out, but I think it's properly set up. Like, it's kind of that. It's the in between. It's like Scott, you literally just said like stack sensor is just an in between tech. Like,
Yeah.
It is what
But
they
Scott,
can
choose.
do. It is like the stack. He says it's underrated. The stack sensor is what these brands are currently having to do
Yes.
because they can't make the global shutter yet. But every camera that has a stack sensor, I'm willing to bet if they could get a global shutter with the exact same readout, the exact same dynamic range, and for the exact same price, they would have definitely put a global shutter in those cameras.
Yeah, but you can't. You
And
can't do
that's-
that. It'd be
and
like
that's-
saying like if everybody could put a 10K sensor in for the exact same price as a 4K sensor.
No, because 10K is like you said, it's going to be unnecessary for some and turns some people off.
But this is the argument.
I don't think
How many people need global?
people will necessarily know that they need it, but
Yes.
they will appreciate all the benefits of it. Take every photography
That's
camera.
10K.
No, they won't. 10K, you're not going to see the benefit of it.
To be able to punch in?
Deal with the storage. Talk to me later.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying.
That's fair.
With a stack sensor, take every photographer who has ever had to shoot at 1/250 and couldn't go any higher because of their flash, you just open the world to them. They are incredibly happy. And these are all hybrid cameras that shoot photos first and do video second until 2024. So you give them all these
We've been
global
trained
shutters
for a long time.
Nah, bro. Open up that. Just like eye autofocus.
We've been trained for
just
a
like
long
eye autofocus.
time.
You said it yourself. When you switched over from DSLR to mirrorless and you saw the
It
eye
is
autofocus,
magical.
it was magical. This is going to be magical.
Do I think global shutter for being able the sync speed of a flash is going to be magical? No.
I think the way your images are going to look, no more bending of a baseball bat. Like, people aren't going to necessarily be able to go
How many people are taking pictures of baseball bats?
a lot. I go to baseball games every other weekend.
How many of them care that the baseball bat is bent?
They won't, but they will all appreciate. They're going to be like, wow, this camera is better. Most people can't tell you why they like a certain image. They just know this one's better.
Yes.
And I think a global shutter is one of those things where they won't be able to be like, oh, yeah, this is better because it's a global shutter. They're just going to be like, oh, yeah, this is better.
So, to be fair, I agree with you. Global shutter is superior. It's better. I think, to me, stacked is probably underrated because I feel like stacked is what people need, and global shutter is privilege. You don't need it. So many people don't need it.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
I'm
not gonna disagree
I
with
think
you.
most people, agree to disagree.
I'm not
I think
gonna-
most people will be fine
No,
with
no,
a stack
I agree with you
in what they shoot.
that you can call it privilege for today.
Dude, I'm getting fired today. I can feel it in my bones.
Oh, if I didn't fire you after last week's episode, you're good.
All right. Alrighty.
Sorry, Rumen, we're moving on. We're moving on. He says, how
How
long
long
are
are
we
we
going to
gonna
stay on global shutter?
shutter? He's like, I want to play the game.
It's amazing. Let's move on.
Okay. I want to know your thoughts on the 120 FPS 4K.
Is it overrated?
Underrated or overrated?
Oh, that's overrated.
Yeah.
I think 120 in general is pretty much done.
In any resolution.
Yeah, I don't really see it happening very often.
They
but
could go up to 8K or 6K.
I just think at this point, like, it's not a deal breaker on a camera. Is it a nice to have? Sure, but like the times that we really used it are so far and few in between.
It's not so high of a frame rate for like real special things, and it's too slow for normal slow motion.
Yeah,
It's like, if I want to be able to stop a bullet, can't do it.
yeah,
Which there is need for the Phantom cameras.
yes,
120 is too slow
yeah.
for normal slow-mo.
Yeah, the only time I've actually ever really used 4K, or not necessarily 4K 120, but I've shot at those really high frame rates were for like projects that we knew we were shooting slow motion for. So like we could have just rented a camera that was designed for it and probably should have went with something that shot slower. In fact, we actually just used the Raptor and shot even slower. So
Yeah. And final one,
Okay.
8K as a resolution.
Yeah, y'all said this one last week. Dude,
Yes.
8K as a resolution. I know you both said that it was, or he said it was underrated. You said it was overrated.
100%.
I'm going to say 8K is overrated
Okay.
because I think 6K is the perfect little sweet spot. What I'm going to say? That's what I'm going to say.
8K
Yep.
over.
Yep. I
6K
know you think that's over.
over.
So here's my
Now-
No, hold on. Cuz you said your take last week and I watched.
Okay.
Here's the reason why I think that
Yeah.
8K is over but 6K is perfect.
Yes.
Because when I'm shooting in 8K, I have never submitted a final video in 8K. It's never happened.
Yeah.
Now, have I shot in 8K and reframed? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never punched in so far that I went past 6K. Like, my framing is never that far off. If my framing's that far off, what the hell am I doing? You know what I mean? So, like, For Porter, him to say that 8K is underrated because he's literally just like throwing cameras up
But
in
he
random
uses
spot,
it. Yeah.
and because he's not framing,
Mm-hmm.
he's not thinking, like he's just suction cupping a camera to the wall and hoping that he gets something.
He sees something cool and he punches into it.
Right. For me, I frame my shots. So when he was talking about people who shoot 8K and they're not even thinking about reframing and they're just framing, yeah, because that's what I'm doing. I'm creating an image with the sensor. So like, yeah, I'm gonna frame it properly.
And what is the aperture at that you could punch to any corner of the frame?
Bro, like
I
that's
feel like you need some deep focus.
yeah, you're shooting at F or T7 or something, you know what I mean? But to that point, for me, I think 6K is perfect because it gives you the reframe you need to give out for 4K, which is what we normally will export in. If we're uploading something online or whatever, we're going out we're exporting the final product in 4K. So 6K gives you a little bit more resolution that you need for that. I'm not at a place right now where I'm releasing anything in 8K, which means if I wanted to crop, I would have to go higher than 8K to actually produce in 4K. And I'd have to go like to 10 or 12K in order to actually produce at 8K. Not doing that. I'm also not producing anything at 6K. So 6K is kind of that perfect sweet spot where it allows me to punch in for 4K exports, but I could also just frame everything in 6K. And that's totally fine.
So here's an addition to last week. If you're shooting 1080p, you need to stop now.
I don't think so.
Is that fair?
No.
If your camera only shoots 1080p, me personally,
I'm going to say no, only because a lot of people create specifically for social. And if you are releasing something on Instagram and on YouTube Shorts and TikTok, I think 1080p is fine. Could you go to 4K? Yes, but you don't have to.
So I think that 1080p, like I think the moment that you get a good 4K camera, you will visibly tell the difference between 4K and 1080p. And it will be the upgrade that you're looking for. So like to me, 1080p, you need to step up to 4K. Me personally, 4K is a beautiful spot for right now. 6K is a little bit over. And I say that with the caveat of my camera downsamples from the 6K. So the 4K looks good.
Yeah.
Like I think if it was just 4K, I might be like feeling like there's something out there left to be desired. But because the R6, can do that 6K external, it's downsampling to 4K, continue full frame, no crop. I think that what I'm experiencing of the 6K that you're talking about, no, I don't have the ability to punch in as much as you would if you had 6K.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting the benefits of the image of the 6K in a 4K deal. So like that's the reason, like for me, why I think I just love the 4K so much. And I don't see the same sort of image. Now, you probably might see it in the 8K, but I don't see the image jump from 1080p to 4K that I see from 4K to 6K.
Well, no, because you're not getting the same.
You don't have the, yeah.
It's not the same. It's like the math.
So that's the reason
isn't
why I
math.
feel like 6K is a little bit, maybe not as necessary for me.
That's what I'm saying. I think that 6K is kind of the perfect little sweet spot.
Yes.
But yeah, you could be totally fine with 4K. I don't want anybody who watches this to think that if they're shooting on 1080p that they need to go upgrade if your image doesn't really need it. Like if you're just posting on social,
100%.
then you can keep rocking with your 1080. That said, yes, you will see some benefits by going up to 4K. It'll be nice, but not 100% necessary.
Yes.
I think we got one more super chat that came through.
I
Darren,
don't
bro,
see
there
it.
it is right there.
Where?
Up one. Above Scott.
Oh, doesn't it usually have the?
It's there. It's there.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
He just said that my Raptor came in clutch. Yeah. So when I was working with Darren, we shot a commercial for Fossil, and
that's dope.
it was very interesting. But we did shoot it in 8K, and he was doing a lot of skateboarding. And the thing about it was, and this is just something I've learned from shooting skateboarding. You don't really know what the heck they're gonna do. So this is kind of one of those Porter situations where you are kind of like later on in post trying to figure out, and his stuff was going out on social too, so we ended up cropping it for vertical. So by having it in 8K and being able to crop around, that can come in handy. But again, like those type of projects, they're coming. So you can get the right tool for the job.
Yeah.
I know a lot of times we talk a lot about gear on this show, and I think that was the last one, right? We talk a lot about gear on this show, but a lot of it comes from our personal, like, what we need and what we're using. And, like, that's the one thing that, like, I wanted to make very clear.
Oh, yeah.
Is that, like, if you are somebody who is currently shooting a wedding, or you're shooting real estate, or you're shooting commercials, or you're doing docs, or you're doing interviews, or whatever it might be, like, the tools that you need are going to be very specific, not only to like what you're shooting, but then like the workflow that you want to continue with. Like I can be 100% with you guys and tell you, like, I was shooting like so many commercial projects at one point that I was like, all right, you know what? We're going to go reds because it's going to be easier on post. I wasn't handling posts anymore. It also made it like a lot of these projects where like we're showing up in situations where we don't have full control and we're like building sets like last second. Lighting is all over the place. So it's like, yeah, let's shoot raw so we can just kind of make these adjustments later in post. And we were trying to do what our client needed, which was really fast turnaround and really intense shooting environments. And they were like, we want you to be able to figure it out in post. We're like, all right, well, we're going to pick the camera that's going to give us the most latitude in post to be able to do that. Now, if you are somebody who is like shooting, let's say, like in a studio where everything is fully controlled, then you don't need as much as this stuff. And so what it comes down to is really just picking the right camera, the right product for you, because by doing that, you ultimately set yourself up for success and not necessarily trying to like look at what other people are doing to try to say like, oh, if they're doing this, like I need this. Like, for example, you're talking about the LiDAR system. I like the LiDAR system a lot, but I'm like, do I really need a LiDAR system? Am I currently struggling pulling focus? Do I have first ACs on my set? Because if I do, then I can just trust the first AC.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, I'm not paying for them. So, like, we're fine. You know what I mean? But if you are in a situation where you're like, I'm running handheld all day and I need help pulling focus because I want to use cinema lenses, well, then, you know, go that route. Or, you know, love your Canons and your autofocus. That's so good. The girl didn't even need to look at the screen.
I didn't. The C400. I didn't realize I stepped on a little bit of a hornet's nest.
When you talked about the 1080p?
Hold on. Yeah. Rumen, you said this. Where you at, Rumen? You moved it. I had a deal.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, it's all good. Rumen, you said don't like the 1080. Like 1080p is don't hate on a good 1080p, bro. I still have my C100 Mark IIs.
And what do you do with them?
Love them. Love their image. I am not saying by any stretch of the imagination that you can't tell a beautiful story or you can't get a great image. You can, absolutely. I still use them on sets today. But if I was being real with you, between my 4K cameras, the C70 and the R6 Mark II versus the C100s, it is a worthy upgrade. Also, Scott, I'm not being hateful. I love you, Scott. I love you. I'm not gonna double down. But I'm also not going to back down either. I'm just
I love it. I absolutely love it. And Scott agrees with you. He says C100 is a solid camera.
What do you mean by horrible?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. All right. Well, look, we have had a absolute blast.
The longest episode ever.
No, I think Gerald's episode was longer.
Oh, really?
I think he hit 2, maybe 2.5. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
But I think we're not gonna talk about that episode. I think we have had a great time hanging out with you guys. It has been so much fun to be back this week. I have had a blast. Let us know down in the comments. I got a real question I need y'all to put in the comments or in the chat. We want to know, outside of filmmaking, what are you guys into? Do you guys watch movies? Like, what are other topics? Obviously, we always talk about tech and AI every now and again, but like, how much do you care about those other topics? We want to know because we want to continue to develop this show and keep making it better and better for you guys each and every week. Thank you guys so much for coming back and checking this one out. We're super excited to see you guys next week because we're going to have more to talk about next week, of course, because, you know, every week Jarrelle wants to bring up Canon, so I got to give him a reason to talk about it.
Every week.
Every week is a good week to talk about Canon. But yes, definitely let us know what you guys think. And if you guys enjoyed the longer episode, Sig310 says, I like 2-hour episodes. So that's good to know.
We like you.
We like you. We like 2-hour episodes too. So let us know what you guys think about this. We can't wait to see you guys next week. And do me a huge favor. If any big news breaks, DM it to me over on Instagram. Please help me out because we be doing research all week trying to figure out what we should talk about. Heck, help us out. So if you see any big news that comes out, follow me over on Instagram at bwashmedia. Love to talk with you guys over there. But thank you guys so much for checking out this week's episode, and we will catch you guys next week. Peace.